So, hey, Harlan Gerger here with CEO Solutions, president and founder. We're back with talking about CEOs and their behaviors and the behaviors to avoid the things that we don't want CEOs to be doing or to not be have these types of actions. And this is number 8, and we're going to be talking about the leadership team. First of all, are we shortcutting leadership team, and do we have the right leadership team? These two things kind of fold in together. Now, why do we have a leadership team? Leadership team there so that we can scale, we have capabilities. We can't do it all. We have to have somebody else to do it. I mean, I can't run the sales team, do the operations, do all the financials, and manufacture a product and provide a service all at the same time. Maybe I did that when I was a one-person operation, but now, I'm running a 10, 20, 30, $40 million operation. We simply can't do it. So we have to surround ourselves with the right leadership team. And what we find a lot of times is that people will bring in people, but then they kind of shortcut that. And there's a couple of reasons for this. One, maybe they brought in the wrong people. Or two, they're not willing to let go. They're not willing to trust and allow those people to really develop and grow. And that really cuts off the growth of the company. And so we see just a quick example. I had a client that called me one night and said, I'm having a problem. I got a exec that's not performing. We thought they were performing. The numbers kind of showed it, but when we dug into the numbers, we found out that no, they're not performing. Everybody else is performing and actually covering for them without really realizing it. And so I'm looking to terminate this person because I don't think they have the capability to do it. They've been here for long enough to do it, but what do we do? So I'm going to look at terminating. Any thoughts? And I said, interesting. I said, have you run this by your leadership team? And he said, well, no. Well, let me ask you this, because I know one of the things that you're trying to do is you're trying to accelerate the growth of your leadership team. How many times have they struggled with the idea of terminating a peer? And he said, well, they never have. Says, okay, so is this an opportunity to help develop that capability with them? And he thought a little bit, and he says, well, that's interesting. I hadn't thought about it that way. So he says, let's talk about how that might work. And so the action that we came up with was that he was going to talk with the person. He was going to give him one of two options. One, he could resign, which allows him to leave in grace. Or two, he could take it to the leadership team and see what the leadership team decided. And this person opted to say, I want to go to the leadership team, because he thought maybe that might salvage him. And so they did. They put it as an issue on their leadership team meeting the next week. Said, here's the performance, here's the numbers, here's what they're saying. And the CEO said, I think that we need to vacate or terminate the person for they're not performing. Everybody else is covering up for them. Well, the leadership team struggled with that, and it was a very uncomfortable talk because, of course, this person is in the room with them. And they decided not to terminate him. And the CEO was very disappointed, but he said he was going to abide by this. Well, the next week, when they had their leadership meeting again, they have them weekly, they terminated him on the spot. They just said, we're done. We've thought this through. We've looked at the numbers. We've looked at this. We've had a chance to process it. Yeah, this is the right decision. You're not performing at the level that we need you to perform at. We've basically not realizing it. We've covered up for you and made your numbers look good, and we're disappointed in that. And so they terminated him at that point. And so this is an example of how we can maybe cheat our leadership team or how we can develop our leadership team. How are we allowing them to make decisions? Are we allowing them to struggle through these decisions? Are we allowing them to learn from these experiences? Rather than dumping this all on the CEO and it's all the CEO's problem, how about we lean on that leadership team a little bit better? And we build a better and stronger leadership team this way. Now, this is just one simple example. But you have to have the right people. You got to look at it. Am I surrounded by the right people? Have I brought the right people in for the right reasons? Are they my buddies, my friends, my nephews, my family members? Or are they on the leadership team because they have and bring a very unique and special capability to that leadership team? And if they do, that's great. But now how do we help them enhance their leadership capability and help them develop. Are you challenging your leadership team, or are they just a bunch of yes people going yes, yes, yes because you asked them to? Which do you want? Which do you prefer? Now, some CEOs prefer the yes people because it keeps them in control and it feeds their ego and a lot of other things. Highly successful CEOs turn a lot of things over to their leadership team, really depend on their leadership team, and it really frees the CEO up to be the true CEO, to really look at the visioning, to really look at the future, to look at those acquisitions, to do all those other things because they've got a very, very strong leadership team that can make decisions. So look at your leadership team, and as you're assembling your leadership team, keep this in mind. Are you developing the right leadership team, or are you bypassing them? Because that can make the difference in the profitability of your company. Again, Harlan Gerger here with CEO Solutions, and we've helped a lot of leadership teams become exceptional leadership teams.